9 waste of money designer items to stay away from if you want to make smart purchases. Of course, if money is no object, you can go ahead and buy any of these, but if you're like me and want to make practical and considered luxury purchases, you may also find these items to be a little bit of a waste of your hard-earned money. First is about bags. Of course, we love luxury bags on this channel. Designer bags in sizes or materials that just does not make sense for its shape or silhouette. What I mean by this is you don't want to go for an exclusively casual silhouette of a bag and get it in a very dressy finish or material like satin or crystals, or in a very small impractical size. If the bag has a casual silhouette, we are more than likely going to be using these bags as our casual day bags. So to get it in such a small size that won't even fit our essentials day to day, then this casual bag is going to be pretty useless. Or vice versa, you don't want to be getting a really dressy silhouette of a bag but in a very casual finish such as fabric or denim. So if a feature about a bag doesn't match up to the style of the bag, then you are going to find it extremely difficult to find occasions to use the bag for. Therefore, you're going to have this beautiful waste of money item sitting on your shelves. I definitely felt like this was the case with my Chanel Jumbo Classic flap that I earned many years ago. I had it in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. This bag was undoubtedly a beautiful bag, but I found the bag to be a bit of a dressy style, being a flap style bag with the beautiful metal chain, but in that large size, it was just not a good bag for a casual occasion or a formal occasion, at least for my lifestyle. So that was a big lesson learned. All the aspects about a bag really need to be cohesive with the function of the bag that you are going to use it for. There's another bag that comes to mind that I once owned, which was the Louis Vuitton double zip pochette. I got this bag in Milan while traveling in Italy with mum a few years ago. What I found about that bag is it is a very casual style with the double zip tops, but that leather finish with the python accent was just a little bit too dressy for such a casual shape of a bag. So I found myself never reaching for it. If we're going for a pochette type bag with a zipper top, we are more than likely going to use these types of bags for your day-to-day casual outfits. And for that kind of a bag, I would prefer it to be able to fit a little more as well. So for those couple of reasons, I found myself never reaching for that bag and sold it pretty soon after I purchased it. Next is classics that are just not right for you just because everyone says these are the classic items, must-haves in anyone's collection. This sounds so obvious, but it is still so easy to fall into the trap of just buying classics thinking that these are really smart choices, even if you're not sure whether it's going to really work for your own style or for your own lifestyle. I have definitely fallen victim to this trap as well in the past. There is also an element of FOMO when it comes to luxury items that are deemed classics, because these items always have price increases every year or a few times a year. For example, your Chanel Classic flap, just a few years ago, it was only half the price of what they cost now. So there is definitely that element of FOMO where we feel like these are classic items, safe choices. Even if we're not sure, let's just get them while the price is still low compared to what it could be in the future. Also, I found that nothing is ever truly classic or timeless. Even if a set style of bag, for example, is a very timeless and classic style like your Birkins from Hermes or your Chanel Classic flaps, I mean, you can't get any more classic than these bags. What I found is over the years, different types of classic flaps or different types of Birkins will be the trending thing of the time. For example, just a few years ago, the large sizes were in. So your Birkin size 35s, your Chanel Jumbo Classic flaps were all the rage. Fast forward just a few years, no one is really wanting those bags anymore. Everyone is about the small bags. So we are all going for the small or medium Chanel Classic flaps. The Birkin size 25 is still the most popular size according to my Hermes sales associate. So if you collected a few classic items from a decade ago, they may still be a classic piece of item, but you may not feel like that they are so classic after all because you want the same thing in a different size, for example. So what I'm trying to say here is, classic or not, if you buy according to what will work for you, even if times change and something else is a little more popular, you're still going to use that thing because you got something that really works for you. But if you purchased something just thinking that it's classic and that's what you should be buying, A few years later, this item may not be so hot anymore. My examples, I have so many. Just a few years ago, probably around the time that I started this YouTube channel, I was really swept up in the hype of all these classic items that I should be catching them all. One that really stands out to me is the Van Cleef & Arpels Alhambra necklace in the mother of pearl vintage size with the yellow gold. It is undoubtedly a classic style and has been popular for so many years. So of course I went and bought that. But you know what, guys, that was just not something that I ever wore. Any of you who watch my videos regularly would already know this story. I just didn't find that necklace really good for any occasion. It wasn't a carefree enough necklace to wear every day as a daily necklace. Because of the mother of pearl, you're not supposed to wear it in the rain. It's sensitive to moist. You can't wear it in the shower. If you get any water on it, it can damage the mother of pearl. It was also a little bit on the large side for an everyday necklace for my liking. My preference is something a little more dainty as an everyday subtle necklace, but it wasn't enough of a statement piece that I would wear on an evening out or for a more formal or dressy outfit. There was nothing really special about it, so I never really reached for it. Even though I rarely wore it, I held onto it for years thinking it is a good, safe investment in the fashion world, so I'll hold on to it. I might regret it if I sold this classic piece. If I ever want to repurchase it in the future, I'm gonna have to pay so much more. But after years of it just being a waste of money item in my closet, I decided to let it go. And it's probably been almost a year now and I have not missed it. So that was definitely the right decision for me. Next one is going to pain me to even look at it. And it is Christmas Advent calendars by luxury designers. I know they are very popular, but I find them a rather waste of money. I only ever bought one Advent calendar in my entire life, which was back in 2022. I bought the Dior Advent calendar. It cost almost 800 Australian dollars. I love the novelty of it, and I thought, you know, I never bought Advent calendars before, but this year I'm gonna buy one. It's going to be so fun opening a little present every day. But I am here to show you, this is a bunch of waste of money sitting in a box. Yes, it was fun opening a present every day, but was that joy really worth something like 800 Australian dollars? Definitely no. Technically, the Advent calendars are worth it when you look at the value of the items that you get. So each one of these will have a price tag, right? For example, one of these candles could be $30. One of these, what is this even? Serum in this size will be $20, I don't know. One of these travel perfumes could be another $20. So when you add them all up, I am sure they are really worth it. But because this is not custom made for you, most of these items are not going to be something that will be suitable for you. In the case of Dior, half of them are like skincare items and they are not typically the range that I would use. Even some of the lipsticks and nail polish, the chance of the colors being perfect for you is pretty slim because these are just mass produced for the general. There are a few nice items like candles that are more generic that could be used by most people, but you could just go out and buy these 3 candles for $100, for example. They are definitely tempting. They always come out with the most beautiful packaging. Last year, I was really tempted to get the Diptyque Advent calendar because I thought at least it's not a skincare brand. They do candles and perfumes, but I stopped myself because I know I'm only going to like a handful of those scents. Even in a candle, technically I could use them all for the house, but I am going to have my favorite scents. So for those other scents that I don't like, it's going to be a total waste. So I might as well just go out and buy a few of my favorite candles at a fraction of the cost of the Advent calendar. Next up are bags or accessories in colors that just doesn't suit you or your wardrobe. Now I feel like this takes a little bit of time and trial and error to figure out what kinds of colors really work for you. When I was a lot younger, in my late teens and early 20s, I guess I just wore all sorts of colors that didn't really work for my color scheme. We all go through that, but over the years, we start seeing a pattern of colors and styles. I guess that's all part of growing up. Once you figure out what kind of colors you like to wear and what suits you, then even for your bags and accessories, I would stick to those color palettes. Just a few years ago, I used to think that for clothing, I would always go for the colors that work for my coloring. But for bags and accessories, you could always experiment and go for a color that you might not necessarily wear in clothing. I thought that was my safe place to do that. But guess what? I found myself never reaching for those types of colors, even in a smaller item like an accessory or a bag. It's also a lot easier to work out your color palette these days because getting your personal color analysis done is so accessible now. So if you're still in the trial and error stage of figuring out what colors work for you, then you can fast forward that process by going for a personal color analysis. To give you an example from my personal experience, I've always been drawn to the baby pink colored bags. So I've gone through a few pastel pink bags. They never worked out for me, so none of them are in my collection anymore. I once had the Louis Vuitton Pochette Matisse in the empreinte leather in their beautiful pink color, and a Chanel phone pouch. This one had a little bit of a warmer undertone to it with the slightly salmony color, but this color still didn't really go with my style. But this phone bag brings me to the next waste of money items that you should really avoid. Are phone cases or phone bags for specific phone models from a luxury designer brand. This one is probably quite self-explanatory. New phone models come out so often. If you change your phone every year or every 2 years, you basically need to change your phone cover every time as well. So the phone case you've just been using may be in the best of conditions, but it'll just become useless. So I'd always stick to a more budget phone case, or if you really love the designer phone cases, there are phone pouches that are not designed specifically for specific phone models, so you could use the phone pouch for most phones on the market. So that will definitely be a smarter choice. Next up, we have full-size long wallets. I know this one is totally a personal preference. I know some of my friends still love their full-size wallets, and my mum does too. But in general, the way the society is heading, we are basically becoming a cashless society. So most of us just bring a couple of cards with us now. We don't even use bills or coins for really anything. Even getting a coffee these days, everyone's just tapping on their phone or just tapping their credit card. And even if you're someone who still likes to use cash, you probably don't use cash as much as you used to just a few years ago. So a better alternative for a wallet would be a compact size wallet if you're someone who still likes to carry some cash with you, or most of us are probably okay with just carrying a card case these days, really. The other thing is mini bags are still really popular. I know a lot of us still use mini bags on a day-to-day basis. And let's be honest, these long full-size wallets don't fit in any of our mini bags. Not to mention the price points of some of these long wallets. They are really, really high compared to a compact wallet or a card holder. I know with Louis Vuitton long wallets, they probably start from about $800-900. I don't even know. And for Chanel wallets, I think they're more like $2,000 and up for their full-size wallets. I mean, that's the kind of money that you can buy a bag with. Maybe not a very high-end designer bag, but a nice bag. So instead of wasting your money on a full-size wallet, I would go for a card holder or a compact wallet, which will cost something like a third or half the price of the full-size wallets. I do have one full-size wallet in my collection, which is my Louis Vuitton Emily wallet, the old original design. I believe I got this like in 2015, so almost 10 years ago. I don't regret this at all because at the time we weren't so cashless and long wallets were still kind of the thing, and the mini bags weren't really that popular back then, and the price was so good. I believe it retailed for around $500 when I picked it up, so it definitely got my money's worth. But would I purchase one of these today? Definitely no. I brought a few of my current everyday bags, which are all too small to fit this wallet. Just to demonstrate, this is my Dior mini book tote with the strap. It doesn't fit, even though this has that longer rectangular shape. The other everyday bag that I've been loving is my J.W. Anderson corner bag. It will maybe fit if I rotate it in. No, even for this small bag, the wallet is too long. And the other bag that I've been frequently using as an everyday errand running bag is my mini Evelyn from Hermes. It will fit long ways, but it will definitely stick out, and that doesn't look very nice. You can't even close the bag. I know fashion trends say big bags are in, mini bags are out, but from my day-to-day life and from what I can see on social media still, I know a lot of us are still into mini bags. Yes, the big size bags are coming back in trend, but just because big bags are popular again doesn't mean that we are only going to use big bags. We are still going to use our mini bags for easy crossbody bags, easy errand running bags when we don't have to carry a lot with us. It's just a lot easier to carry these mini bags than lugging around a big bag just because they are the it thing at the moment. So I'd say mini bags are here to stay even though big bags are in. They are not mutually exclusive. I feel like they are going to coexist in most people's collections. Next up are uncomfortable designer shoes. This one is another self-explanatory one. Shoes are one of those things you just want to be comfortable in. I found a lot of trending designer shoes to be quite uncomfortable, and it's not just high heels. Of course, high heels are going to be more uncomfortable than a pair of kitten heels or flat shoes, but you can often find high heel styles that work for your feet shape. On the flip side, there are kitten heels or even flat shoes that are still uncomfortable. One example that comes to mind is the Dior slingbacks with the pointy toes. They have been really popular for many years now. I really wanted a pair, went to try them, and I tried on the high heels first. They were really uncomfortable for my feet shape because of how narrow the front was. Then I tried the lower heels and the flat versions, and they were all uncomfortable for me. I guess that slim pointy shape really doesn't work for my feet. They may work for yours. So this is a really personal one, but designer shoes that look really pretty, that look like they should be technically comfortable, you still need to try them. And if they're not comfortable, they are a big waste of money. Next up, we have basic design pieces that you can get from a more affordable brand that will still have the quality. When it comes to the luxury designer price point, I always want the piece to have a point of difference. If I'm paying that much of a premium to get something from that brand, I want something to be really special about that piece. So if we're talking about a very basic design item, then I am going to save my money and go for something more affordable from a mid-range or contemporary brand that will still have the same kind of quality and material. A lot of clothing pieces come to my mind. Basic white tees, for example. I know you could get ones that are $200-300 from more expensive designer brands, but when it comes to these basic items, these are the items that you're going to wear pretty frequently. So the chances are you are going to keep washing them, keep putting wear and tear into the item. So I find these types of, say, basic white tees, basic black tees, a little wasteful to get from a really high-end designer, because I can tell you this now, even a t-shirt that costs hundreds of dollars, if you put it through that many wash cycles in your washing machine, you are going to have to replace it. So I do stick to my Uniqlo t-shirts. They are very flattering on. The quality is beautiful. I do love the U t-shirt series, the crew neck. They're a little bit thicker, so they do feel more substantial, more premium, but they only cost $19.90. So I know I'm going to be able to wear it very often, wash it every single time I wear it if I wanted to. And when it comes time to replace it, it will only cost me $20. Next wasteful luxury purchase would be over-investing in a trend, both in the number of items and in the price. Yes, I do set a price cap for an item that I think may be a trend that will only last a few seasons. I am definitely not saying only buy the classic pieces, and I've already told you about how I feel about these classic pieces. Nothing is truly timeless, but there are always going to be the more trendy pieces that won't really last you very many seasons versus the more classic pieces that you know you're going to get a good number of years from. So I'm not saying don't buy trend pieces, because if we only bought classic pieces, our wardrobes are going to be really quite boring, and we want to have a little bit of fun with our style and fashion. So of course we want to have some fun with some trend pieces, but I would do these trend pieces in moderation. For example, you know, the oversized bag trend is coming in really strong at the moment, starting a couple of years ago with the YSL iCare Maxi bag, the Row Margot bags. A lot of fashion influencers are now going for the larger Birkins, the size 35 Birkins. But just because a large bag trend is really coming in, I wouldn't splurge all my money in getting the huge bags. I mean, of course, if huge bags are what really works for your lifestyle, go all in it, regardless of the trend. But if you're kind of having a little bit of fun with some trend pieces, then I would definitely only stick to getting 1 or 2 pieces of the trend to see how it really works for me first. And if I really enjoy that sort of a style, regardless of whether it is trending or not, then of course you can expand your collection of whatever that trend is. But I feel it is always smarter to do trends in moderation. So these are personally what I think as 9 wasteful luxury purchases. Do let me know if any of these resonated with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending some of your precious time with me today. And I can't wait to see you again soon in my next video. Bye guys!